Hello you guys, welcome to Lily Reads. This is the first video I'm posting over on this channel and I thought we should start with negativity. Let's get things out of the way so you know what I like, what I don't like, and then we can move on to positive things. So this is the unpopular opinions tag. This tag was created oh so long ago by Kashan at the book Archer, and I have waited my entire life to be able to do this tag, to be able to be nasty, gutter butt, and everything in between about the things I do not like in books. So we are going to it's 9 questions. We're going to get into those. And so yeah, we can start. A popular book or series that you do not like. I have one for you right here. It is 100% The Scarlet Letter. Not only do I not like The Scarlet Letter is literally my least favorite book of all time. I despise this book. I have read this book twice in my life. I read this book I read this book when I was in high school and I think 11th grade, and I also read this book in undergrad because I was an English major. I have an English degree and we read it there, and I have hated it both times. I hate both main characters. I think they're whiny and full of shit, and I kind of believe that they are the cause of all their own problems. I was rooting for the villain, her husband, the entire time in this book. The love interest in this book, the guy who she has the baby with, I think he is a coward. I think he is nasty. He set her up. I hate everything about this book. And here is the thing. If you read this makes sense. If you haven't, follow me. I understand that this society is nasty, it's slut shaming, it hates women and all of those things. But I feel like our main character knew that. She knew what she was living in. She knew society was nasty as hell. She knew if she popped on the scene with another nigga baby, it was gonna be bad news for her, right? So, why would she do that? Why would her and old buddy even do that? Why would they you know how nasty your people get. And so, we supposed to read this book and be like, oh, this society is nasty. And it's I already knew society was nasty, girl. Why didn't you know that? How you want me to feel that you got yourself set up? That's how I felt. I felt like they got themselves set up and we was supposed to feel so damn bad for them. And we just simply, I never do. I never understand really the point of this. Of course it's ahead of its time, I guess, anti-slut shaming. And then the pros of this book, the prose of this book is ridiculous. I don't even like the way this book is written. I think it's like reading the dictionary. It's not written well for me. As far as classics go, I'm bored. So this would be 100% a popular book or series that you do not like. I hate this book. Why do I own it? Because one thing about me, I'm ahead of classics. My classics are down here. I'm ahead of classics, but do I like her? No. It's on sight every time I see her. Next, a popular book or series that everyone else seems to hate, but you love. I already know what time it is when it comes to that. The Maze Runner. The Maze Runner. I never read the next series, the Scorched Trial, not the Scorched Trials, that other one. There was a companion series to The Maze Runner. I never got to those, but the Maze Runner series. Now, I will concede that The Death Cure is a terrible book. The Death Cure is bad. Oh my gosh, it's so bad. It has typos in it. No, The Death Cure is bad, so I'm gonna say her to the side. But these two, The Maze Runner and the Scorched Trials, I love The Maze Runner. I'm just gonna hold up The Maze Runner because I don't want to hold up all of them. The Maze Runner is literally one of my favorite book series of all time. I know it gets such a bad rep, and the movie is really good, but I still don't believe the movie is better than the book. I like the book. I like the book for The Maze Runner. I had so much fun reading this as a child. I have never reread it. I have never reread this book, so I do think a nice fun video would be do my childhood favorites hold up. It's so flimsy. It's so nice. Oh my gosh. I love The Maze Runner so freaking much, but James Dashner gets so much hell for being a horrible writer and things just don't be making sense, and there's typos and it's not fluid, but I ate it up. I ate it up. I know y'all hate her. I know y'all hate her. Like, this, back in the day when people used to do this unpopular opinions book tag, this used to be the popular book, a series that nobody liked. But, like, I love it. I love it. I just find it so funny. I'm gonna get on the Cassandra Clare girls. The Cassandra Clare girls be having so much gall. So much gall for people who read fucking Cassandra Clare. Like, that's what be blowing me. People who read Cassandra Clare's, now people who die by the mortal instruments be sitting up here dragging us for the shit we like. I'm like, please spare me. Like, you against the selection series, but you read the mortal instruments? Like, come on. Like, let's not act like, I don't know. That's something that always bothered me. You, a bitch with too much mouth, I promise you she reads Cassandra Clare. Like, find me a bitch with too much mouth, and I promise you she lives and dies by Cassandra Clare. And it's like, we all have our, like, the people we support who can't write, but like, why y'all be having so much gall? Like, I get it. Like, I get this book probably is not good, but who are you to point fingers when you read Cassandra Clare? Like, what? You 30 and read Cassandra Clare? Like, what? I'm being nasty, but it's so true. Like, the Cassandra Clare girls be so nasty, because the thing is, you can like Cassandra Clare. Like, I ain't got nothing against the woman. Like, you can like the woman, but like, let's be clear. Let's be clear that we all enjoy our trash. Like, Cassandra Clare got one good series, and it's the In Front of the Vices one. The rest is like, if it's for you, it's for you. So when I say I like the Maze Runner, if you find yourself indulging in that of Cassandra Clare, you don't get to say nothing to me. You don't get to say nothing to me. We're gonna move on. 2 other books that everyone hates that I love. The Catcher in the Rye. I will always be a Catcher in the Rye apologist. I will always be a Holden Caulfield apologist. I love it so. If there was a thing, a popular book character that everyone hates, that you love, Holden Caulfield. Holden Caulfield, sorry. I know Holden Caulfield raised a whole generation of Reddit insults, but I'm so sorry. That wasn't his fault. That wasn't his intentions. Like, Catcher in the Rye, I will always be an apologist for. And also, The Great Gatsby. I love The Great Gatsby. I think The Great Gatsby has the most amazing subtext. The way in which F. Scott Fitzgerald was able to just give you small inklings into everyone's personality by just the things that they were reading. Like, when you meet Tom Buchanan, like, all of that stuff, and just like the smallest little things mean so much to the entire book. If I could have written one book, it would be The Great Gatsby. Like, it is just amazing. I don't care what nobody says. And yeah, those are the 2 books that, well, 3 books that, well, The Maze Runner, Catcher in the Rye, and The Great Gatsby are 3 books that I literally love that people seem to hate, and I don't give a damn. Sorry. A love triangle where the main character ended up with the person you did not want them to end with. Colleen Hoover, It Ends With Us. I was gonna give Colleen Hoover, It Ends With Us 5 stars up until the ending. The ending to me makes a mockery of the entire book. Like, so the ending of It Ends With Us, I didn't read the book that just came out. I think I'm doing another Colleen Hoover video, so I might read that in another video. But It Ends With Us is about this woman who deals with domestic violence, and then we go back in time to her boyfriend who dealt with violence in his, like, he dealt with other types of violence, he dealt with poverty, he dealt with all types of things. So we go through the story, and the guy comes back into her life, and then she has the domestic violence issue she's dealing with the man. She is pregnant with his child, right? And so, like, in the end, like, she doesn't really end up, like, she meets up with the guy again from her childhood, and it's obvious they're probably gonna be together. And she starts to co-parent with the domestic abuse guy, and I hate that ending. Number one, that man has lost all rights to his children, because the book doesn't really go on and explain in any way how this man is any different, how he's been held accountable, how he's anything. Why are you letting him around your child? Why? So I hated that part of it. Makes no damn sense. And then, like, I do not like it when people from high school end up together. Like, whoa. Well, it's the reason why I don't really like Friends to Lovers, when the friends have known each other since high school. College up. college up, because I just don't believe you should be married to the person you knew in high school. Whoa, that is so unpopular, but that's what we're here for. You should not be with somebody you was with in high school. Like, I get there are exceptions to that, and I would have to hear the exception. That's on a case-by-case basis. But like, you should not be with the person you was with in high school. In high school, like, you was writing letters to Ellen DeGeneres, and that's the man you want to be with the person who was with you when you was writing letters to Ellen DeGeneres. Like, is that really what you want to be reminded of? Like, that you, like, the person who saw you when you were a child? Like, I just do not like that. So I don't think she should have been with either of them niggas, and somehow both of them are in her life. No, so that is one that's just like a no for me. I don't own the book. I unhauled the book, so like I ain't gotta just show you. We moving on to the next question. A popular book genre that you hardly reach for. I had to really think about this because it's obvious to say like fantasy. I don't read fantasy. I don't read sci-fi, but like something that but that's like obviously just not my style. I wanted to choose something that could be my style that I just don't want to read, and that's true crime. I don't like reading books about like true crime, solving a murder, solving a mystery. Like, not to be confused for mystery, because I like mystery. I don't like true crime. It's a difference. If there's a difference between a mystery and like a true crime, where like a detective goes in and tries to solve a murder, or a band of misfits come in and try to solve a murder. I don't like that. That goes for like missing people, like books about people missing. I do not really like. I do not like. I don't know what it is. Like, true crime stuff is not my thing. I do not like stuff about true crime. I don't know. That's just something I never reach for. Even though I love thrillers, I love mystery. When it has like true crime aspects to it, you can kind of miss me with it. Like, I just never really reach for it. Next one. A popular or beloved character that you do not like. What the hell is this bitch name? What's the name of the bitch in this book? Let me find out. Olive. First of all, if your name is Olive, Olivia, anything with an O, you're gonna get on my fucking nerves. It is just literally written in the stars. And Miss Olive Smith is no different. The Love Hypothesis is a book I already hated, but Olive is one of the main reasons I hated her. Like, this felt so like 2012 protagonist, like no backbone, no nothing, like just flat. And the thing is, I actually don't mind a flat character. That's another unpopular opinion. I don't mind a flat protagonist. Everybody can't be an it girl. Like, I don't mind a flat protagonist. What I do mind is when the protagonist or love interest is literally flat as white paint, and then all of a sudden, everybody loved them down. They got friends, they got niggas, they got this, they got this. And it's like, what, this would never happen in real life. This person with this personality would never get the things you were talking about. You mean to tell me this man right here, who's a professor, hates everybody, but this Olive girl who has no personality, she rides a fucking bike for no apparent reason, is who he want, is who he is. It just don't make no sense. It just don't make no sense. So then you have me believing that this woman just has this out of this world beauty, because that's the only reason somebody would give her the time of day, and if that don't ever add up. But like, no, Olive Smith, I do not like her. She got on my nerves. I got another one for you too. This bitch. My Year of Rest and Relaxation. We never know what her name is in this book. And you might be saying at home, oh, Kenya, you're not supposed to like her. No. You're supposed to understand her. You're supposed to be like, wow, like, I get she's nasty and she's gutter butt, but like, everybody has a little nasty and gutter butt in them. No. She's insufferable. She has no use on this planet Earth. Ooh, I'm getting nasty. She has no use on this planet Earth. Like, bye. I do not like her. She's fake, so I can say that. She's fake, so I can say that. We'll move on. A popular author that you can't seem to get into. I already dragged Cassandra Clare down. So, like, obviously you have Cassandra Clare. But you can do Colleen Hoover as well. I've never read a Colleen Hoover book that I wanted to read again. I'm so sorry. I read 5 Colleen Hoover books. And I was sure I was going to like one and love another one. Like, I was sure I was gonna like something. I haven't read this book. This is the last Colleen Hoover book that I own that I haven't read. So like, I'm keeping it and to decide if I'm gonna give you guys a Colleen Hoover video. Down below, tell me which Colleen Hoover books I should read if you think maybe I just haven't found the right one. I've read Verity, It Ends With Us, Maybe Someday, Ugly Love. Maybe I only read 4 and I'm not remembering one, but I've read those. I despised Ugly Love. Maybe Someday was just whatever. I hate the ending of It Ends With Us, and Verity was a fucking joke. Like, Tyler Perry wrote that himself. So like, and then I have November 9th, but I haven't read it. I just can't get into her. Like, I just can't get into her. And like, the thing is, Colleen Hoover should be right up my alley and my type of mess, but like, I can't get into her. Another person you can low-key put on this list is Penelope Douglas. I have Punk 57. It's just way up there, but like, I can't get into Penelope Douglas either. Birthday Girl was not good to me, and then I tried to read Punk 57 many times. It's still up there. I'm gonna get to it one day, and it's still not hitting for me. Like, so Penelope Douglas and Colleen Hoover are two people who is just like, I don't know what's going on there. Let's move on. A popular book, a popular series that you have no interest in reading. One thing about me, I'm gonna be on the right side of history about some shit. Harry Potter. I have never read a Harry Potter book in my life. So when y'all sit up here and be 30 years old talking about how y'all can't let J.K. Rowling go, can't relate. Can't relate because I never freaking read them. One thing about me, I've lived many lives and had many personalities, but I've never been a fantasy girl. I've never been a fantasy girl. I've never been a side. Like, that has always been me. So I never felt a need to read Harry Potter. Like, I was not reading Harry Potter. I was reading Lemony Snicket. I was reading a series of unfortunate events. That was me. Like, I was a series of unfortunate events girl. And so I never needed to read Harry Potter. I never needed to read Harry Potter. And so I didn't read Harry Potter. And so then I got to an age where I found other books. So then the dystopian era came along. Hunger Games came along. Divergent came along. So I saw Twilight came along. That's what happened. So then like everybody was reading Harry Potter. Then Twilight came into my life. And so that filled that urge of wanting a book series to like mean everything to me. And then Hunger Games came along. That filled the urge. Then Divergent came along. That filled there. And then I went into my romance era. So like I never really had time to even care about Harry Potter. Like I didn't. So I was reading Lemony Snicket, and then I was a Twilight girl, and then I was a Hunger Games girl, and then I moved on to romance. So like there was never time. Oh no. And then I went into literary fiction. I'm a literary fiction girl. So then I started reading literary fiction, and I just drifted further and further away. And then J.K. Rowling turned out to be a nasty person. So like, whoa, like I just never had to read Harry Potter, and that's my story, and I'm sticking with it. I've never read a Harry Potter book. I have never read a Harry Potter book, and I'm proud of that. Sorry, right side of history, that's me. The saying goes, this is the last question. The saying goes, the book is always better than the movie. But what movie or TV show adaptation do you prefer more than the book? To me, see, here's the thing. There are many good book to movie adaptations, but to me, for a book to movie adaptation to be better than the book, you have to do something in the movie. You have to take the movie to a place I believe the author never even had the scope to take it to. You have to literally turn this source material into something that the book just never could have been. Like, the author didn't think big enough. The author just didn't have the vernacular, did not have the words to turn the book into that. You have to literally change its form almost. Like, turn it, like, make the scale bigger. Like, think bigger. You have to think bigger when you make this movie. And so I have 3 books that did that. We'll start with, I think, the one that did it like the least, and then the best. Like what I consider to be the best book to movie adaptation of all time. So first and foremost, Catching Fire. What makes Catching Fire a better movie than it is book? the scope of it. The scope of it. This movie is so much fun. Catching Fire is such a fun movie. Going back into the games looks different. That scene in Catching Fire when the fire, they burn the woods and all of them are running out of, it's just so good. It's so good. So what I love, and I love Catching Fire, the book. Let's be clear. But what makes the movie better is the scope. It's how they knew to make it larger. They knew how the right things to focus on. They knew what to make bigger. They just knew how to make it more interesting, bigger to scale. They just thought bigger than what Suzanne Collins could have ever imagined. And that is why I think this is a better movie than it is book, even though the book is 5 out of 5 stars to me. The next one is Fight Club, which I believe is the second best book to movie adaptation of all time. What makes this a great book to movie adaptation is the narration, the narrative style that the movie decided to go with. Finch decided to read this book and come up with a different way in which to tell this story. And that is another thing that makes, to me, what makes something a good book to movie adaptation. When you take the same source material, but you find another way in which to get it across. This is a pretty good book. Like, Fight Club is fine. I read it in college. It's a perfectly fine book. It's nothing like it. I don't think this book could be like your favorite book in the world. But the thing is, change some things. Some things are completely changed, but a lot of the dialogue in the book stays right here in the book. Like the movie to book dialogue, there's not a lot of changes in it. But what is changed is the narrative style, the style in which the dialogue is like done. And that's what makes this, I feel like Fight Club the movie and Fight Club the book stand alone in different areas because it's just a different style. Taking the same source material but adding style to it, adding flair to it, turning it into your own. So that's why I believe Fight Club is the second best book to movie adaptation. Just amazing casting, amazing world building, taking something, this book is literally 200 pages long, and literally turning that into an entire world. Fight Club is, to me, is the second best book to movie adaptation. And to me, the best book to movie adaptation of all time is no other than Louis Sachs's Holes. Holes is the best book to movie adaptation of all time. I don't know if you read Holes in school or you read Holes on your own. Holes is a perfectly good book. Holes has a lot of heart. It has a lot of integrity. It's written very well. It's just a very good middle grade book. Holes the movie takes this source material and turns it up a notch. And how it turns it up a notch is the heart. The heart that is in the movie Holes doesn't fully come across in the book. Like in the book, you feel it, you get it, it's a good story, but Holes the movie has stakes. It has heart. It has fun. It has amazing dialogue. The casting is amazing. That's before we knew Shia LaBeouf was a weirdo. It's so good. Holes the movie is by far the best book to movie adaptation of all time because what it does is it does everything I said these books do amazing. So to me, Fight Club style. It just changed the style of the source material. Catching Fire, the movie just changes the scope of everything and the stakes just go higher, That's what it does. This book, the movie Holes, does all of that, but then adds another level of heart to it. And so it just does all of those things you want into a book to movie adaptation and does it different. It read the source material. It understands the source material because sometimes when you do a book to movie adaptation, you can tell the person who wrote the movie and the director of the movie don't really understand why the book is so loved. So they just start making a movie that kind of is just based off of that. But what makes a good book to movie, I'm going to leave it here. What makes a good book to movie adaptation is understanding the beats of the book. You need to hit all of the beats. What made people like the first act of this book, the second act of this book, and the third act of this book, and keeping that heart but turning it into something stylistically different. Or you don't even have to turn it into something stylistically different, making that come to the big screen. Holes did it. Holes did that. Holes holds up as an adult. I loved it as a kid. I saw it in the movie theater as a kid. Holes is the best book to movie adaptation of all time, in my opinion, in my humble opinion. That is all. That is the Unpopular Opinions book tag. Love you guys so much, so much. I will see you guys in another video. Go down below. Tell me some of your unpopular book opinions. I might react to those. I don't know. I don't know what the people do in book talk world, book talk, booktube world. I love you guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.